Good evening. Welcome. We're going to talk about Haitian Heritage Month. My name is Paola Pierre. I was born and raised in Haiti and now live in the US. We're going to share some experience with you and then why we have month of May as our month to heritage. We celebrate Haitian Heritage Month. Thank you, ladies, Madam President, Dr. Brown, and Laura. Good evening. Now tonight you're going to learn a lot about what we do, who we are as Haitian, and then where we come from. And thank you, and welcome. Haitian Heritage Month. Why do we have this? And then why us? Just because we have a rich history. We were the first Black to be independent and to get our independence in 1804. And then coming outside, when we live outside the U.S., outside of Haiti, we noticed that there was so much need for us to stay connected. And then just to let you know, we have over 4 million Haitian living abroad. Living abroad. We are professionals. We work at hotels. Some of us. We are, very resilient, and then do our best to make a living outside of where we come from. We left Haiti for a reason, so now we're here. We're making the best out of it. Haitian Heritage Month. It's a celebration in the U.S. of Haitian heritage and culture. What we do. The entire month of May, it's something in Haiti. The first of May 1st, we celebrate Labor Day. Labor Day, it's just it's a good celebration for us. We are off. It's a holiday for us Haitian, but not in the U.S., but we try to make it. But it's not happening yet. And then May 2nd, I remember back in Haiti, we used to have Carnaval des Fleurs. It's a flower day for us. I don't know if it's because of spring. It's we don't have any season in Haiti, but it just happened that we have Flower Day, and then we celebrated that. And then May 18 is our Flag Day. That's for our independence, and then it's a big celebration. Also, it's a holiday for us for May 18. And we also have the last Sunday of the month of May. It's Mother's Day. In Haiti, it's Mother's Day, but in the U.S., we call it Haitian Mother's Day. We have two Mother's Days to celebrate in the month of May. And then if you're a Haitian mother, and then you don't get your children or your grandchildren calling you, or family member calling you, and not to call you, to wish you happy Haitian Mother's Day. It's to differentiate from the regular Mother's Day and then the Haitian Mother's Day. So, back in Boston in 1998, I have a group of people who said, well, we have so much happen in the month of May. It's happening in the month of May. We need to celebrate that month. So what they did, they started putting our culture together, having artisan, having the flag, and then the culture, bring the entire culture of Haitian culture in that month to make sure that people are aware of who we are, what's happening with us, and then how rich we are in culture, how diverse we are. You can see someone that's, looking like Laura, that's Haitian, that's Creole, and then you go, ha. And then, it's just it's how diverse we are, and then creative and innovative, and then also entrepreneurial. And then, so this is our Haitian. And then in South Florida, we have, now I would say in South Florida, we celebrate it. Where I work at the city, we also have the entire month. We have a committee. We have a chair for the committee. We have press releases going out. We have from May 1st to the entire month, to May 31st, we have a celebration, something to do. And then just to realize that we are not the only one doing it. We have other municipalities doing it. We have other organizations doing doing it. And then it's just like to bring out the culture, our heritage that's so rich and then we're so proud of. And then these in 2008, they started doing it at the school as well, public school. The 18th of May, which is our Haitian Flag Day. When you see now, people are more proud to have. You can drive around. I don't know if in Kendall now, because since I'm more in the north side, and then you can see a lot of cars with flags, the little flags. It's like Haitian flag they have in their car, and then so it's just like to bring their identity. I would say, like, maybe 2 decades ago, people were afraid to say that, young people, that to say they're Haitian. Now, forget it. They want to identify themselves as being Haitian American, which is a great thing. And then those celebrations continue. Last year, we didn't have much happening because of COVID. We had I myself personally, I was doing a Haitian artisan expo to bring artisans all over the world to showcase their product, because we do lots of artisan, we do lots of, clothes. I have a lot of jewelry that come from Haiti, and then the clothes that we make, shoes and all that we have. And then people don't know that. They can see it every time I have something. Unfortunately, today I didn't wear anything from Haiti. I always say it proudly to say made in Haiti. So and then people, oh, wow, you do that? I said, yes, we do. So beside the Flag Day, the month, and then we carry on like significant history. We have one of our ancestors, like, part of the revolutionary and then independence. It was in May. So it's just like, I'm telling you, this is entire month. And then now I will share with you, and then maybe next year, the invitation, and then things are happening. Hopefully COVID will be over, to show you what we do and then how we celebrate Heritage Month. And unfortunately, I could have brought some speakers to speak about this, but we don't. But the work is I'm telling you, it's beautiful, it's nice. And then I will bring next time with me the artisan, the work that we do, the production that we have instead. So this is why we call it Haitian Heritage Month, to acknowledge, to know exactly what we do, the contribution that we bring as Haitian in this community in all over the world. And then someone will go to Africa or to go to Iceland, they will see an Haitian. We say, God, we are everywhere. So it's true. And then so what is a better way to show people where we are, where we come from, where we are, and then there's a bit of that respect and a little bit of a connection and then don't forget about our food. My goodness, it's spectacular. Every time people see us, they talk about the food that we eat, and then, they can say like the griot, the pickles, the rice and beans, and then it's like, the taste is like unique, unique. And I'm open for questions, and then I can go for some more history about our background, why they say they celebrate the month, because it's so rich in history. So we have to share it with the world, with people, and then to keep our culture alive, to keep our heritage alive, and then our children, so they can learn more about where we come from, what we do. Because we tend to, when we leave, and then our children, it's just like before Thanksgiving was okay, to integrate our culture, to keep it memorable in our kids, children's life and other people's life that we share with. And then it's not only Haitian that celebrate it. Now a lot of municipalities, governors, and then I said mayors, they acknowledge that we exist, and then we are part of history, we are part of the culture, we are part of diversity that's here in South Florida and all over the world. So I'm open for questions, ladies.
So I have 2 questions.
Yes.
One is going to sound very basic, but because our audience is from across the world and they may not know, what is the language spoken?
Okay, we speak Creole. We were occupied by French, and then so for years when I grew up in Haiti, French are our official language. Then we have Creole that, speak Creole. They used to say uneducated, we speak Creole. But now, since 1980 or 1994 or so, maybe late, 1980s, Creole became the official language. You have it, you have dictionaries, we have the school the books and then the school, and then even in Miami-Dade County, and then all over, and then when you see things, and then you see the Creole, you go to vote, and then you see in English, Spanish, and Creole, and then if you go somewhere you see Spanish, you say, how come Haitian? It's like Creole is not there. It's supposed to be there, and then so we speak like that. So it's there. Yes. Creole is our official language now. Although the French is there, we still, from the colony, but the Creole is our official language now.
Yes. And then you mentioned something when you were sharing with us earlier that I'd like to see if you'd like to expand upon a little bit. And you said that about 2 decades ago, the young people were afraid to say that they were from Haiti, but now that's not the case. Why was that, and what's changed?
In the 80s, they started saying, Haitian was the cause of AIDS, and then to be here. And then, so every time we could not donate blood, I don't know if you remember, Sandra?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we could not donate blood. And even, those things, when I talk about things like that, I get emotional. I have goosebumps right now. We could not, there are things that we could not do as Haitian. And then we were like, boat people coming, and then how some of the children, the parent came from the boat, and then to come here. That's what the undocumented came, and then now with the status. But children were afraid because they would be bullied at the school. So now it's proudly to say that, we are Haitian. And then sometimes when someone is talking to me and then they want to show me, especially where I work, we have a lot of employees, to show that I identify myself, they will say something in Creole to me because of my accent. I've been here in my 20s, so it's like my accent is not going anywhere. When I open it, you know where I come from. So therefore, they would say something because they're fluent, and you can already tell that, they are Haitian, they have Haitian parents, and they're from there. And then so he would say, they will say something, he or she would say something in Creole to identify themselves, to show me that, they are part of it. So it's like it's a pride that they take to do that. Yes.
That's so awesome. I mean, I'm so glad that you're doing this, Paola, because a lot of times what is portrayed in the media, it is totally not accurate. And I remember many times, a lot of times, depending on how people would characterize Haitians, sometimes you feel that you always have to defend the culture, even though you don't know, but you have friends. Like, I've known Paola since 1996. We met at Trinity International University, and we have remained friends. So every time the stereotype would come up about Haitians, I would always defend, and I would I know a lot of Haitians, and I have dear friends that are Haitians, and they are not that way, okay? They are beautiful people. And it is, I don't know what it's going to take for people to stop stereotyping other cultures. The culture, the variation, the differentiation in culture is what makes this world a beautiful place to exist in. So we need to embrace, and I'm speaking to the viewers, the listeners, we need to embrace each other nationality, each other heritage, because that's what makes it so colorful, okay? And sometimes you hear, I've seen where I've been around people where someone would say, hey, Laura, are you from Haiti? And Laura would Haiti? Why would you ask if I'm from Haiti? As though it's a bad thing, okay? Every ethnicity, every culture have the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you just don't take and stereotype a set of people depending on where they're from. Like the songwriter said, I don't care who you are, where you're from, as long as you love me and I love you, That's all I got to say. Paola, I love you, girl. You know that.
I love you more. And then we have some key Haitian people in high position. Look at that, Dr. Henry Ford. That's the head of pediatric at the UM. UM Hospital. And then yesterday I received an email from this person named DeWash, and then he's like just one of the big heads in AT&T. So tomorrow we're going to put a blast for him on Monday to congratulate him for that position. So we are everywhere. Everywhere. We are married with everyone. Every culture. Right. So our children are from, you name it. And then, so it's just like, this is who we are.
I have one other thing to say before you go to Dr. Brung. As
Yes.
you were talking about the food, listen, she invited me was it to somebody's wedding or something back in the 90s? I don't even remember. It was some big event. And I had Haitian food for the first time. Let me tell you, it's great. You really need to experience it if you have not experienced it. And let me tell you something. Where I came from, in the Virgin Islands, we believe we have the best, every country believes they have the best of everything, So we believe of food, I'm not going to say it. We believe our food, our cakes and everything are the best. Let me tell you something. I had Haitian cake. Oh. And if you have not experienced cake, if you have not had Haitian cake, it's moist, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just delicious, delicious. Yeah. And it's
Thank you,
awesome.
Vanoya. I love you more.
I love you, baby.
Saying that.
Well, I have to get my 2 cents in.
Yes.
Because you see, my boss,
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Dr. Alex Salvin, he comes from Haiti. And he is the best boss ever. And because of him, Haitian people are a part of who I am. And Haitian Americans have contributed so significantly to the United States of America. And I want to talk about Yamiche, who is up there in PBS in the White House, one of our correspondents.
Yes,
Yamiche Sindor.
Yes.
We are very familiar with her family.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of Yamiche. And I'm very proud of all my Haitian patients, and I become super protective of them, especially when I know that they have a language barrier. And there's going to be a procedure that's going to happen to one of my patients who is of Haitian heritage, and I'm questioning whether or not they fully understand what's about to happen to them. And I can become very violent to protect them. And it has worked sometimes, and sometimes it hasn't worked, but I am very, very protective of our Haitian patients to make sure that they understand what's happening in the medical world to them. And my boss is from Haiti originally. He went to Cook County, and then he came to Miami a year before I came to Miami, and he's the best doctor in the community. And he is loved, he's well known, and if you have a long wait at our office, it's because we're compassionate and we care very much for our patients. So please don't get upset at us. We're trying to give you the best. We care about our community, and our Haitian Americans are very, very important to us. I also have a colleague I work with, and I want to give a shout out to Monica Oriel, who is also from Haiti, and she works with us as a nurse practitioner, and so I am in the Haitian American world, and I love it. And with that, I want to talk about griot and pickles. And I want to know when Paola is going to make griot and pickles and rice and beans for us. It's an authentic question, Paola.
I will not make it myself, but I will bring you a chef one day on this platform to teach you guys, our listeners, how to make griot and pickles.
As long as we get some to taste too.
Of course. They can get the ingredient, to get the recipe, and then try on their own, but we will have it here.
Yes, I love it.
Cooking with
chef.
All right.
So it will be done.
Awesome.
And I have to also tell you, speaking about your Dr. Salvin, the U.S. Attorney General in D.C., when after what happened in January 6th, he was speaking. He's Haitian, Mr. Racine. He's Haitian. So we have, and then President Biden just put one of colleagues from South Florida, Karine Andre, that's over there, part of his personnel, as his staff. So it's just we are everywhere.
And isn't the...
So if I start making names, or
Yes.
someone won't finish, but it's just to show you that how prominent, and then how I would say ambitious, resilient. You're not ambitious, but
The resilience of the Haitian
Yes,
population
yes.
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That resilience has really stimulated me in my practice to be strong. I see so many who have gone through so much, particularly that earthquake.
Oh my goodness.
The
goodness.
resilience of these of your family, of our family, because one thing this pandemic has taught me, and I hope it has touched you too, is that we're all connected. We're brothers and sisters. Every single person who has passed has affected me personally. We are connected. And the resilience that I see coming out of the Haitian population is awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to give praise to my Haitian brothers and sisters and what you have brought to me personally and to us in how we can survive and be strong in difficult times. And I think that comes, Paola, from the fact that Haiti was the pearl of the Caribbean, with your history of being the first nation to be independent from European invasion, or
Yes.
whatever you want to call it, occupation.
Now we call it occupation. Before it was slavery.
The fact that they were the first, and listen to me, I know it's a rich blood rushing history, but it brought freedom and it encouraged other Caribbean islands to seek their independence. And
Sure.
I think that is something profound that you bring to us with Haitian heritage. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I was going to ask, isn't Vice President Kamala Harris
Jamaican.
her spokesperson? Or
Yes.
Is Haitian? I don't
She's
remember her
Haitian.
name,
She's
but
the
she is
chief
Haitian
of
as well,
staff.
right?
She's
Yes.
the
Chief of staff.
Chief of staff,
Chief of
yes.
staff.
Lots
is
of Haitian
yes.
Americans
Yes.
Oh,
in-
yes.
yes.
in the current.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and then we have locally, we have commissioners, Commissioner Monesim in District 2. That's Haitian. We have my mayor. 60% of the municipality who are working in North Miami, they are Haitian. From Haitian descent, not Miami Beach, they have them. We have a national, they call it National American Elected Haitian Elected Official. Now there are so many of them. In Florida alone, they have 19 of them that occupy governmental position and that, which is phenomenal. Yeah.
and just to give a shout out just to let you know, tell me if I'm saying it correctly, the Haitian America Chamber of Commerce
Of Florida. Yes.
is also one of our sponsors, thanks to the lovely Paola, who is the chairperson of that organization.
Yes.
And they're doing great things. They're even expanding
We're opening a new chapter
in Treasure Coast.
in Treasure Coast. That's gonna be. We opened it already. So yes, so it's in Port St. Lucie. We had the grand opening, and then I'll send you to the website, and then to look for things. It's hackoff.com. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank
Yes,
you. And
I
then
want
it
to
has
add
been
a quick
yes,
disclaimer.
that's right.
Just
Yes.
a real quick disclaimer to our audience, because Dr. Sandra Brown gave a very passionate, sharing of how she feels about her patients, and she did say she gets violent at times. Not physically violent. Just want to go on record and saying that. I would recharacterize it as fierce. She is very fierce for her patients,
Yeah,
their
protective.
safety,
Yes.
their protection, and doing everything she can to always serve them.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much, Laura. And let me invite our viewers to tell us in the chat how you feel, who you know that's Haitian American, and I'm going to give you a challenge. I know May 2nd has passed, but going on into this week, even though May 2nd is past, can you please just give some flowers to a Haitian American out there that you're connected with and say Happy Flower Day? I think that's such a beautiful thing to celebrate. Let's give flowers this week to all our Haitian Americans to let them know how much we appreciate them and how we appreciate their contributions to our society, our community, to our nation, and to our world. Thank you all, viewers, for joining us. And next week, what will be happening, Paola?
Forgot.
Next week, as you join us for the podcast, the 29th will be our 5th session for the month of May. It will be our last session before we take a little siesta for June and July. And we're going to have a musician with us doing a big celebration as we celebrate the end of our 1 year of doing our podcast. Please don't forget about us over the summer, but we want to go out with a blast as we celebrate, and we will have a wonderful musician sharing her talents with us next week. Please don't forget to join us. Thank you.